Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashem Barakah Kwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and the elder bishops on down, and overall to you Akim out there that's furthering this truth, this gospel of the kingdom, whom is the elect, the potential elect, and I say that humbly, and as well as even including to those that do follow the ministry, whom is the 1/3, and it's your brother Laban. And we're going to get right into this over here as well. So as this reads, Russia issues warning to West after Ukraine fires U.S.-made missiles into Russian territory. Russia has warned that it will retaliate with full-scale nuclear war after Ukraine launched U.S.-made missiles over the border on Tuesday. Putin's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov warned that Moscow would react accordingly as he described the strike as a signal Ukraine wanted to escalate. Meanwhile, British PM Sir Keir Starmer has hinted that Number 10 would authorize Ukraine to fire UK Storm Shadow missiles into Russia. The Mail Online reports in a dramatic escalation on the 1000th day of the conflict, Kyiv launched 6 ATACM missiles from an undisclosed location over the border into Russian territory, and the strikes triggered a fire explosion at a depot in Kharkiv, believed to be strong ammunition supplied by North Korea, around 75 miles from the Ukrainian border. At the same time, Putin provocatively signed off changes to the country's laws on nuclear weapons to make it easier for them to be deployed against Ukraine in a retaliation. So what I want to do is I want to move forward and I want to read into a different article such as this over here. And as this reads, Ukraine strikes Russian military installations in the Bryansk just one day after the Biden authorizes use of U.S.-made long-range of ATACM missiles. And I think basically this is speaking about the same thing. But once again, this is very well showing as the time is drawn near. We're seeing a lot of events which is going to lead up to that third woe. And when I say the third woe, because we're already in the third woe, so I got to be careful and be more specific here. What I want to say is we're days ahead due to situations happening all around the world, from the east to the west. Things are happening and it's leading up to the third woe to be seen physically in effect, where there is going to be ICBM missiles being flown from one place to another place. All right, and this is the vision that the prophets had, and this is the vision that we've kept on conveying over and over again, just as well as what Noah did. Noah warned of the flood, which was going to come over and over again until it actually came 120 years later as it came. And so the same is being had with us. The visions that we've been telling the people and telling our people in general is now surely about to come to pass. All right? And this doesn't come as a surprise either. Joel, chapter 2, and we will read, let's begin by reading verse 1 here so we can begin this correctly. Joel chapter 2, verse 1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. And that's what we've been doing. The scripture says, how does it go? Lift up the voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression and spare not. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. And that's really what the third woe is going to bring. It's going to bring in the day of the Lord, which is a day of darkness, as it is written, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spreads or spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. And the land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and yea, nothing shall escape them, because they're going to be flying by a multitude, as in formation. Especially if you're in the landmass of America, you will not be able to escape, in this case, the judgment of the Lord. When the missiles are going to be hit ground zero by a multitude, it ain't going to just be one and by one. No, it's going to be a multitude of them that's going to be hitting America at the same time, and different parts around the world too. But America's going to get blown to smithereens by the multitude of these missiles, and these major size missiles as well. All right. So as Joel is explaining, he's explaining them as they're of the appearance of horses, which they're not horses. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. And as the horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of the mountains, shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. So let's look up this word. Let's look up this. So let's look up this word. So we're going to do over here, we're going to look up this word, battle array. And it also means to, no. This is another word. Excuse me. Let me think this thing through. All right. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go from here and we're going to look up the word battle array. Right? Array, which is the Hebrew word arak, which means to arrange, to set, or put or lay in order, to set in array, prepare, order, ordain, handle, furnish, esteem, equal, direct, compare, to arrange or set or lay in order. Let's go down here. Right. Exactly. Arak, i.e., arrange, put in order in very wide variety of applications. Set the battle, self, and array, compare, direct, equal, esteem. Yes, so we got that now. So when you think of in the battle of array, right, you think of men with horses, and you have one group of men on the other side and another group on the other side, right? And they're all on horses and they're getting ready to clash. And all of these men of war, they're in formation, right? That's how the missiles are going to be seen. The missiles are going to be seen in formation, because you're going to have missiles flying together at the same time. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to go up. I went too far down. I don't know why I did that. And that's why this reads. Yeah, so as this reads over here, before their faces the people shall be much pained, and all face shall gather blackness. So now, I think that was the word over there. That was the word that I was looking up before. No, that's something else. But let's look up this anyway. Blackness. A glow, heat, meaning dubious, anxiety, right? That's what it is. People are going to have high levels of anxiety because they're not going to believe what's about to hit them. They've never seen this before. They never heard of this before, especially in this generation. Okay, we have the older generation, which goes all the way back to being born in the 1920s, and they've lived through the Second World War and the likes, right? But there's a generation, or there's generations that haven't even lived through being in a world war until they actually see it. It's going to perplex them. All right. So now, again, let's go back up here. Yeah, I have it over here already. So yeah, I've already read this. Okay, so cool. Let's go back up and let's read 7. And they shall run like mighty men, and they shall climb the walls like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So again, this is talking about how the missiles are going to be in formation, which also we can include to read this as well. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another, and they shall walk every one in his path. See? And when they shall fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And who is the sword in this case? Esau's the sword. And they shall run to and fro in the city, and they shall run upon the walls, they shall climb up upon the houses, and they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. And the earth, see, it's not talking about horses. A horse cannot quake the earth. The earth shall quake before them, and the heavens shall tremble, and the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? So those missiles are going to be the armies of the Lord. All right? The weapons of also, as it is written too, his indignation. All right? To lay the land desolate. So now let's move forward. Dubious. Because I looked up this word in the I saw this word in the biblical interliner, and looking at the word parar, which is the word blackness. And the word dubious means to be unsure, uncertain, feeling doubt about something. Right, yeah. So people are going to have that shaky feeling. They're going to have anxiety. So when things are out of your control, especially things that are important, what happens to you? You get anxiety. And then you start to lose control yourself. Your damn self. Let me say that differently. Anyway, prophecies about Babylon. From verse 1 to verse 6. The burden of Babylon which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, and exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that you may go into the gates of the nobles, which were already in the gates of the nobles, because the elite, they see what we're doing. And I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, and even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms, of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts, muster of the hosts of the battle, and they come from a far country, again, referring to the intercontinental ballistic missiles, as we were just reading in the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter. They come from a far country and from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation, as I was quoting, to destroy the whole land. What whole land? America, which is the Babylon that the Bible speaks about. All right? And all of these devils that have had a hand in enslaving our people, that have done wrong against our people in many which way they have, they're going to pay for that. They're going to suffer the sins of their forefathers. Let's read that as well in the book of Isaiah 14 over here, right? Because they are their forefathers coming back. See, we come back and regenerate. We're reincarnated. So whatever sins that we have done, we will succeed in the afterlife. In other words, we're going to be judging those things when we come back again on earth, as that's even written in the book of Ecclesiastes 3, and I think it's verse 16, the place of judgment which was under the sun. What is under the sun? The earth is under the sun. All right, so that's the place of judgment, not burning in no hellfires, none of that shenanigans. Okay, so let's read. I think is it Jeremiah? Yeah, I was right. Isaiah 14 and verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Absolutely. So a great slaughter, a great deal of death is coming for those that have afflicted our people, and even unto those that don't repent. They're going to suffer the same fate as our enemy. All right. So after they have been destroyed, nuclearized, guess what? They're not going to rise back into power no more. There's not going to be a third resurrection of the ancient Roman system, or what is called the fourth industrial revolution. These don't exist. What does exist, though, is the coming kingdom, which will be by the saints, spearheaded by the one and only, the one that died on the cross for our sins, Yahweh Shai. All right? So there you go. Let's go back to scripture, which is in the book of Isaiah 13 and verse 6, which is another point. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, which is in reminiscent to what I just read in Joel, the first chapter, Joel, the second chapter, in the first verse. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty, and therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. That's that on because they're gonna have high levels of anxiety, so their heart's gonna give in, and they're gonna just drop because of the sight that they're gonna see. They never thought or imagined that sight of what they're seeing could ever actually happen to them. All right, the thought and the imagination of it came in of what they're now about to see, which is going to happen to them. All right. So this nuclear destruction is going to come as a destruction. And I like how it's put, as a destruction from the Almighty. Absolutely. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. And they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. And they shall be amazed one at another. And their faces shall be as flames. Right. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Just like I've mentioned, our people that don't repent, they're going to be destroyed as well if they don't repent. All right. So that's all we got to read over there. Moving forward, 2nd Ezra 15, because I just read that the Lord will punish the world, right? The Lord will punish the world. Yeah, this is it right here. I forgot this as well. Let's jump down a couple of verses. Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So now let's tie this with 2nd Ezra now, 15 and 5 to verse 6. Behold, save the Lord. Let's go up a couple of verses. Yeah, I'll just read to the point. Verse 6. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Verse 8 is actually the point. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cry unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So all of this is happening right here, right now. You have people that are doing all kinds of wickedness that we know about, and wickedness unseen. And then you hear the innocent and the righteous blood crying unto the Lord. Those that have died, and as well as even those that are upon the earth, are complaining continually. All right, especially the prophets. We do these weekly lessons to the point where we go out and hit the streets. That's complaining continually unto the Lord. That's exactly what that is. All right. New study on U.S.-Russia nuclear war, 91.5 million casualties in the first few hours. God, dog. And just, again, let's read this again, man. Let's go back up and read verse 5, man. Isaiah 13 and verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, and even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. I have to read this again as well. And it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So they're saying that in a few hours, the first few hours, 91.5 million would have died. You would have had that many casualties. 34.1 million people could die. Salakia. And another 57.4 could be injured within the first few hours of the start of a nuclear war between Russia and the U.S., triggered by one low-yield nuclear weapon, according to a new simulation by researchers at Princeton Science and Global Security Program. So if that's 34.1 million people that could die in the first couple of hours, and 57.4 as they're estimating, right? Then just imagine when this thing goes on for not just a few hours, but days. This is the video that I want you brothers and nephews to check out. Let's play this. Let's go back.
Ask you about something you've been involved with. You said that if the President of the United States had launched an attack on Iran without congressional approval, that would have been an impeachable offense. Do you want to review
Absolutely.
that comment you made? Well, how do you stand on that now?
Yes,
do you think
I do. I want to stand by that comment I made. The reason I made the comment was as a warning. The reason I don't say those things lightly, Chris. You've known me for a long time. I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee for 17 years, or its ranking member. I teach separation of powers and constitutional law. This is something I know. So I got together and brought a group of constitutional scholars together to write a piece that I'm going to deliver to the whole United States Senate, pointing out the president has no constitutional authority to take this nation to war against a country of 70 million people unless we're attacked or unless there is proof that we are about to be attacked. And if he does, I would move to impeach him. The House obviously has to do that, but I would lead an effort to impeach him. The reason for my doing that, I don't say it lightly. I say it because they should understand that what they were threatening, what they were saying, what was adding up to be, what looked like to the rest of the world what we're about to do, would be the most disastrous thing that could be done at this moment in our history that I can think of.
And as he's speaking, you can see that he was in the spirit of elaborating what he would do if a president was to do something like that, which he would become the president to do something like that, about to, right? As this reads over here, right? I'm not gonna read that part, but he basically put from Thomas Massey, Senator Joe Biden clarifying that 2024 President Joe Biden has committed an impeachable offense, basically, by authorizing U.S. supplied and targeted missiles to attack the sovereign country of Russia. And yeah, this is what they're about to do. But if they do that, then guess what? There's going to be repercussions like none other. And the reason why Vladimir Putin, which is his real name, the reason why he's so hesitant of acting and responding, because as the saying goes, man, with great power comes with great responsibility. And the thing with the Russians, or Vladimir Putin in general, he knows the catastrophic effect that it will have in the world if he was to really let loose on America. He knows. And this is the reason why they're holding back. All of these nations that possess the nuclear missile, the weapons of the Lord's indignation, because they know what the after effect is going to be. And it's not going to just be no little after effect. The effect of those missiles being used, especially the ones that the Russians got, is enough to destroy the whole planet Earth, as the Bible prophesied that would be. All right? And that's why ain't nobody doing anything right now. Right now, as you see, it's just tit for tat, tat for tick. But that tit for tat is going to turn into a global situation, a global war, the third war, which is coming quickly. That's what it's going to turn into. AKA, let me just even say this even and do one better, the second death. That's what this situation can cause, man. All right, you want to talk about the Second World War, the First World War, with, primitive technology that they had. Look how many people died in that. So you can listen. The numbers that are given, just times that by maybe 1,000 times. Maybe I'm overly emphasizing, but you can times that by, okay, let's just say 300. I'm telling you, with the nuclear power that these nations have, again, it's enough to total the whole planet Earth, to put people to death by mass. All right, by the tens and hundreds of millions, to the point of billions, half of the planet Earth. Actually, I would even go as far as saying, maybe 30, maybe 60% of the population can be deducted based on this nuclear war. All right, that's how catastrophic this thing is going to be, and that's why these nations are holding back, and you can't blame them, because they all possess those weapons of mass destruction. Something that J. Robert Oppenheimer, he mentioned. He said, man, and he said it with a sense of sadness as well, because he realized what he did. He realized what the fuck he created, and what he basically created was an instrument that can cause mass death and destruction. All right, and the Lord was working through him. And after it was created, all of a sudden, he had that light bulb moment, and he said what he said. All right. Anyway, Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come ye near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and that's the bottom line. And his fury upon all their armies, and he have utterly destroyed them, and he have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all of the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth from off the vine. Let me read that correctly. Off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, and that it is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat and kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And those goats with fat and the kidneys of rams, these are what you call sacrificial animals that you would sacrifice for sin offering. So what this is figuratively expressing is that of the people are going to be likened unto the lambs and goats and the kidneys of rams. So basically, there's going to be a lot of human sacrifice. What you're going to witness is a world holocaust like you ain't never seen before, which the term holocaust just means burnt offering. All right? Holy burnt offering, from the word holos, if I'm correct. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. And yeah. And verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with the fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And this is one of the greater reasons why we're going to have this nuclear war, to do with the fact that these nations have afflicted us in the way that they've done so. So they're going to basically reap what they sow in a big way. All right? And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become a burning pitch. And so, in like manner, the same way Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, America is going to be destroyed, but this time it's going to be by those nuclear missiles. All right? And plus, when we're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, what they did, America's doing the same thing and have promoted the world into doing the same thing. And so, therefore, they're going to get that Sodom and Gomorrah treatment, just as well as the Lord treated them. All right? So I want to play some of this video over here because as this reads over here, Ukraine fires UK supplied Storm Shadow missiles into Russia for the first time. And this is the reason why Russia used intercontinental ballistic missiles, which I'll be getting into later on, against Ukraine, which the Ukrainian military isn't fighting at all. People that's really fighting down there are the NATO members and America as well.
It's a target in the southwestern region of Kursk. Russian military bloggers have posted photos of what they say are fragments of Storm Shadow missiles from a village near that area. Powerful explosions can be heard on unverified video purportedly shot there as well. Well, all of that follows a day after Ukraine fired US-made ballistic missiles known as ATACMS in the neighboring Russian region of Bryansk. Moscow has promised it will respond to any strike on Russian territory that uses long-range Western weapons. Washington is also providing Ukraine with anti-personnel landmines to try to slow the advance of Russian troops. Well, the UK's Defence Secretary, John Healey, he has been speaking in the House of Commons today. He wouldn't directly confirm those reports I was talking about UK missiles when he was speaking there a little earlier, and said Ukraine's action on the battlefield speaks for itself.
My understanding is also that Storm Shadow has been fired for the first time into Russia. It's very important to bear in mind it has been used inside Ukraine. It's been used against Russian targets, I think in Crimea, but also in other parts of occupied Ukraine. But this is a threshold that has been crossed. It's a big step. And it's a big step because the Americans were reluctant to authorize this because, as far as I understand, there in some degree of American data sharing and intelligence was important in the employment of these weapons.
So that's all I'm going to play. That's what happened. And so in return, Russia did the same thing in sending those ICBM missiles to Ukraine and, got them blown up over there. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I'll catch you on the next one. So with that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Awashai Bahashem Warakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops on down. And Yahweh Bashmi Awashai Brakatham to the sincere among us that truly believe, that push this gospel of the peace which Yahweh Shai is going to bring upon us. The gospel of the kingdom as well, as it is also known as. And even unto those that follow, whom is the 1/3, and it's your brother Laban. And I'm out. Shalom.